For generations of racers across the Carolinas, this was where dreams began. Long before the bright lights of Daytona, Charlotte, or Darlington, there was Myrtle Beach Speedway. Opened in 1958 as a dirt-covered Ramby raceway before making the switch to asphalt in 1974, this legendary half-mile became one of stock car racing's most important proving grounds. For generations, the Petty family sharpened their skills here. 3 generations of Earnhardts raced these same corners. Legends like Buck Baker, Dick Hutcherson, David Pearson, and Ned Jarrett all found victory lane, while Jarrett capturing his first NASCAR Cup Series win on this very track in 1959. For decades, Myrtle Beach produced champions and unforgettable Saturday nights, earning a reputation of one of the South's premier short tracks. The annual Myrtle Beach 400 became one of late model racing's crown jewels, while countless future stars built their racing careers under these lights. Although the Speedway closed following its 2020 sale and now lives on only in memories and the virtual world, its legacy remains woven into the fabric of American stock car racing. Tonight, those grandstands come alive once again as Track Limits Network turns back the clock for a return to one of racing's most beloved venues. The FourWide Motorsports Beach Vibes 80 is next. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Myrtle Beach Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network. FourWide Motorsports Late Model Stock Tour back in action here tonight. Let's take a look at the race details as practice winds down. Back to the normal qualifying heat races, 80-lap feature. Weather-wise, we're 72 degrees, 95% humidity, a little cloudy here tonight with this low ceiling. There's a little bit of fog potentially rolling in. 12-mile-per-hour breeze, 78-degree track temperature. Nice and cool for these drivers. Going to provide optimum grip and some fast laps here in qualifying, which is about to get underway. With that said, let's take a look here at the fast times in this session. The 44, Cliff Mullins fastest, 19.239. And right there, a thousandth off, Tristan Valdez, 19.240. Chris Golden in the chat already. Thanks for checking in, Chris. Says, welcome to the Thunderdome. Says, it's turtle time in turns 1 and 2. You guys see what he's talking about if you don't already know. As we roll into turn 1 here, Valdez, you see that inside white line? Yeah, there's some turtle shells that are still painted white there as well. Don't want to hit those and really, really throw the balance of your race car off. Just under a minute left in this session. We'll get the black and red flag. Jump right into single car qualifying. It'll be 5-minute session, 2 laps, whatever completes first. As you can see, sun setting here at Myrtle Beach. Running this one here likely under the lights. So clock, 1 hour complete. Practice in the books. Time for qualifying here for Myrtle Beach Speedway. Let's see who takes to the Speedway first here tonight. Looks like it'll be Charles Oberg going to roll off. Or will he? Thomas Hall also sitting in pit lane. Jay Berlin, though, on the Speedway. .70 machine on the clock here at Myrtle Beach. Berlin in the middle of 3 and 4 here. Back to start finish, across start finish line. Turns in his time card, and where does he land? A 19.780 provisional pole. Chris Bingley's second quick with a 9.25. We'll watch Berlin here as Steve Luttrell goes P1 with a 19.48. Carlson jumps up top of the board. Berlin's second lap. 19.50, fifth quick, and he drops down to 8th. Cliff Mullins now fastest in practice. He's fastest again here in qualifying. 19.26 seconds for the number 44. Robert Eversole goes from 10th quick on lap 1 to a 19.75. Still now 10th, drops to 11th. And Landon Brown, 19.610. Mullins still the top time with a 19.262. Little pickup for Landon Brown, a 19.427, puts him P7. Austin Pack in the number 81. Six quick. Very quick first lap for Austin Pack. 19.390. Does he have a shot at pole position? So 21 of John Lacey jumps up to the third position. Lap 2 in the books for Austin Pack. And he'll sit on that 19.390. Dylan Larison with about 2 minutes left in this session. Everybody will race here tonight. 20 cars for a 20-car feature. Still going to run the heats to set the field. Larison goes 16th quick. 19.609, and I think he's going to go back to pit lane and call it a run. Charles Oberg, 19.900, his first lap, 17th on the timing and scoring, slowest so far. Oberg pickup here, he does, big time pickup, second quick for the 77, he goes 19.331, just misses pole position. Yogi Schleer in and out of the throttle here on his second Q lap, so he'll sit on his time at 19.720. Benjamin Hollibaugh, hopefully I'm saying that right, a new name here in the FourWide Motorsports late model stock tour this season. Hollibaugh with the cookout colors, and he gets it in a little too hot. Overcooked it down into the corner, slides it sideways, keeps it off the wall, but that'll do it for qualifying for the 8 machine. So we are very close to running out of time. So Hollibaugh going to have some work to do. His hands full these heat races to try to improve his starting position. If he keeps going here, he might be able to get a lap in. Cross start finish. Yeah, he's got time. If he gets it under 20 seconds, he can probably get this done. Into 3 and 4 here for the final time of qualifying. 3 seconds left. And he will break the timing and scoring line just in the nick of time. Hollibaugh with a 19.871, though. Still not really a big improvement there. Dan Jones in the 17 opts to not take a time in qualifying and set his starting position in the feature by way of the heats. So let's take a look at it here. Our starting grid for heat number 1. On the front row, it'll be Cliff Mullins and Hunter Carlson. Row 2, Ben Campbell and Austin Cansdale. In the third row, Gavin Grubbs, Stephen Luttrell. Row 4, it'll be Jay Berlin and Dylan Larison. Fifth row, final row, Thomas Hall and Benjamin Hollibaugh. And Benjamin having a little moment there on his first timed lap in qualifying. Let's see if he can improve his starting position through the heats. Chris Golden in the chat says, Grubby Benjamin had a little burger grease on the cookout machine. I love me some cookout. I wish we had some of that up here in Western New York. It's a bit of a drive. Some connection issues here at the front of the field. Cliff Mullins disappearing for quite some time. Hopefully that clears up. Pace car heads to pit lane. First heat race of the night about to get underway here in the Beach Vibes 80. Cliff Mullins, Hunter Carlson will lead the field to green. Off turn number 4, holding him down. A connection issue again for Cliff Mullins and Hunter Carlson.
Green.
There it is, though. Green flag in the air. We're racing in Myrtle Beach. Mullins with the early lead down into turn number 3, and Hunter Carlson there rolls it down into 3 and 4, closes the gap, but still connection issues plaguing the 32. Hopefully that gets cleared up. It's going to be a tough night for these guys, whether it's them behind the wheel or the drivers racing around them. Chris Golden in the chat says, I'll be in Western New York racing in August. Where exactly are you going to run, Chris? Because if that's the case, I may pop out and have a couple of beers and watch some racing. So Cliff Mullins continuing to show some strength here in this late model stock. 0.4 of a second, roughly the advantage to Hunter Carlson. Coming to 7 laps to go. Mullins just run the fastest lap of this heat, 19:33, a little shy of his qualifying run. Stephen Luttrell very loose out of turn number 2 alongside the 93 of Thomas Hall. Luttrell in the 36, the white and orange machine coming off turn number 4. Talked to Steve Luttrell pre-race, who was commenting about how the setup tonight felt a little tight, a little understeery, if you will. The way we're seeing him here in this session, though, he's very loose, and so is the 92 of Dylan Larison as he tank slaps the wall with the right rear. Meanwhile, back out front, Mullins still with about a 0.4 to a half-second advantage as the battle for second starting to rage. Carlson and Campbell. Campbell on the bottom in the number 27. I think that's a 2. It looks like an 8 from this distance, but either way, real loose off the exit of turn 2. Campbell hangs on to it. Now Gavin Grubbs looking to the outside of Campbell as Carlson hangs on to the second spot. Chris says Ransomville Speedway. I'm assuming you're running on the dirt. What kind of car are you going to be running in, Chris? I don't usually go to the dirt races, but I may make an exception. Final lap here from Myrtle Beach for Cliff Mullins in heat number 1. He's led every lap to this point and slowly but surely starting to stretch his lead over Hunter Carlson, who's continuing to be plagued by connection problems. Mullins off turn number 4 for the final time. He will secure the win here in heat number 1. Carlson second, Campbell third. Gavin Grubbs 4th, Austin Cansdale, Jerry Berlin 5 and 6, 7th is Thomas Hall, Steve Luttrell 8th, Dylan Larison 9th, and Benjamin Hollowaugh finishes last in the 10th spot. So Heat 1 in the books. Now it is time for Heat 2. We'll see if these grid issues come back, and of course they do. So on your front row, it'll be Charles Oberg and John Lacey. Row 2, Tristan Valdez and Austin Pack. In the third row, Landon Brown and Troy Campbell. Row 4th, Chris Bingley and Yogi Schlier. In the final and fifth row, Robert Eversole and Dan Jones. Again, Dan Jones not taking a time in qualifying whatsoever, so he will start at the back of this second heat race, try to improve his position through competition. So Chris Golden says it's a little SCDRA car, a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder. That's going to be fun. I'm trying to think how far Ransomville Speedway is from my current location. See if I can get a peek here. Well, if I was flying, it's about 75 miles, but the drive is about an hour and 37 minutes, so you're going to be right up there by Niagara Falls. So that's not too terrible of a drive. I might have to actually do that. Message me offline, Chris. Give me a date on that. I'll see if I can swing out, at least say hello. So field working on their warm-up laps here. One more time around. Once they cross the stripe, they'll get that one-to-go signal. We'll be racing the next time by. Another 10 laps here in the heat races, and we will run a consi, I believe. I think that was the game plan. Sun just about completely set here in the racetrack, blanketed in track lighting. As the pace car heads to pit lane here in the middle of turn 3. We're ready to go racing here again in heat number 2 at Myrtle Beach.
Green flag.
Green is in the air. We're racing in heat number 2. Oberg and Lacey on the front row, and there's trouble behind. Yogi Schlier in the fence with, I think, Chris Bingley. Indeed, that is. Not even a cross-start finish to get this underway, and we're already trading paint. Schlier with some damage. Will not turn. He's up the racetrack again, trying to keep it off the wall. Chris Bingley likely some damage as well, as a very slow lap for the 84. Meanwhile, out front, the battle for the race lead continues. Lacey and Oberg side by side, rolling down into turn number 3. Chris Golden says, I don't fly, so I'll be driving from Oklahoma. Good God, man. That is a haul. I would chance it for that distance. I'm not a good flyer either. I definitely need to show up with a couple of mini bottles and a Xanax just to get on the plane. They're prescribed, don't worry, they're not black market. So Lacey takes over the race lead from Oberg, and now Tristan Valdez trying to squeak his nose to the inside for the second position. Austin Pack running in the 4th spot. Landon Brown there in 5th. Pack trying to get one more position here. Drives it in deep into turn 3. Gets to the bottom of the racetrack. It'll be 5 to go at the stripe. Now look closely here. Watch Austin Pack, the left side of the racetrack here. You see those little dimples on the rumble strip, so to speak? Those are more than just dimples, folks. Those are basically turtle shells. You do not want to hit those. Chris Golden says, I love driving to see our country. Well, I can't argue about that. That's for certain. Especially coming from Oklahoma. So I've never been in that Well, I could say I've never been that far west. I've never driven that far west. I've been to Vegas, I've been to Kansas, but not any place really in between. So Lacey continues to lead as Valdez was able to clear Oberg for the second spot. Austin Pack jumps by him as well and takes P3 with a little less than 3 laps to go. In fact, it'll be 2 laps to go as Lacey crosses the start-finish line, but Tristan Valdez is coming. He is fast. Fastest lap of the race just now, 19.28 seconds. Will he have time to run him down? Because John Lacey is going to see the white flag this time by. And there it is, Barney waving it. Final lap here from Myrtle Beach in heat number 2. Valdez, I think, needed just a handful more laps because he's just a few feet off the back bumper, but it won't matter. Lacey will cross the stripe and he'll win heat number 2. Valdez will take second. Finishing third, Austin Pack. Oberg finishes fourth as Yogi Schlier is having a problem there at the finish. Landon Brown fifth, Troy Campbell sixth, seventh was Dan Jones, Robert Eversole eighth, ninth Chris Bingley, and Yogi Schlier will round out the field in last in the 10th position. So we get set here for our consolation race here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. It'll be an 8-car field as we try to get set. We'll take a look at this one more time. Still can't get that to work. I'm just going to keep trying it until it decides to cooperate. But your front row is going to be Thomas Hall and Dan Jones. Row 2, Stephen Luttrell, Robert Eversole. Row 3 be Dylan Larison and Chris Bingley. In the fourth and final row, Benjamin Hollibaugh and Yogi Schlier. Got a 15-lap heat. This is our Consi race. Let's set us up the rest of the field here for our 80-lap feature coming up right after this. Pace car makes its way out of pit lane here. Again, an 8-car Consi race here. Schedule-wise, here's what's on tap for the remainder of the season. We've got Myrtle Beach, of course, here tonight. It says 200 laps. I'll have to double check that. But then New Smyrna next week, 80-lap feature, 5 flags the week after that, and we close the season out at the Nashville Fairgrounds. It says it was the Beach Vibes 80, so hopefully that's the case. But if not, we'll go 200 laps of racing here tonight. Fingers crossed. One way or another, we'll get it done here at Track Limits as the pace car will head in. We'll get this Consi race started. It'll be 15 laps to settle it. Thomas Hall, Dan Jones on the front row. Thomas, again, dead last in qualifying. Didn't take a lap whatsoever. He'll start this one on the front row.
Ready, green, 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 green.
Hall with a big jump will head it down into turns 1 and 2, and they're 3 wide for a moment there in 1 and 2. Luttrell and Eversole now side by side into 3. This for the second position. Luttrell up 1 spot already. So is Eversole. Now so is Dylan Larison as he runs fourth. And Dan Jones very quickly drops 4 spots into the 5th position from the front row starting position. Stephen Luttrell putting a charge on. He's got to run down the straightaway into turn 3 alongside Hall for the race lead here at Myrtle Beach. Luttrell had a moment off turn 4, didn't catch it, but he's lost some ground. He slides back to 5th after battling for the race lead just a moment ago. Now Robert Eversole takes the spot from Thomas Hall, and Eversole will be the race leader. Dylan Larison trying to take second from the 93. A lot of jockeying for position early on here in this Consi race. Hall and Dan Jones side by side. Luttrell still running into 5th position. Eversole and Larison just ran identical lap times, 19:37 for the both of them. Dan Jones in the 3rd spot, working on the 92 of Larison. Larison, the Axalta, that white and purple machine, just ahead of the 17. The 8 laps to go this time by. Everyone's relatively calmed down now. It's really the hottest battle on the Speedway right now, Larison and Jones. Larison in the fence off of turn 2. Dan Jones doesn't lift, just goes straight to the bottom there, trying to take advantage of that misstep. Gets a fender alongside, but Larison will have the run out. Still now side by side into turns 1 and 2.
Caution.
And we got trouble. Caution is out, and Chris Bingley is around. So Bingley sits stationary right after the middle of turns 1 and 2. Still trying to get that car righted. It is not moving. I think he's just going to let the field pass here. Now let's see what happened here to Bingley just a moment ago. Looks like a little bit of contact here with Benjamin Hollabaugh. Hollabaugh in the 8 cookout machine. Yep, Ben just drives it in a little deeper than Chris Bingley. Gets into the back of him, lifts those back tires off the racing surface, and, well, that's the end result. Around he goes. Yogi Schlier gets by without contact. So our first caution of the night comes in our Consi. As they run, it's Robert Eversole, the race leader. Then it's Dylan Larison. Dan Jones in 3rd, Thomas Hall 4th. Stephen Luttrell running 5th. Ben Hollabaugh is 6th. Yogi Schlier 7th. Chris Bingley involved in this first caution will be shown in the 8th spot, 1 lap down. Got the 1 to go signal here for the field. We'll get the restart at lap 13 of 15 scheduled laps. And we got David Warwith in the chat, says, "What's up, fellas?" What's up, Dave? Thanks for checking in, saying hello. Pace car heads into the pit road entrance in turn 3. Eversole will be the control car on the inside. That black, green, and blue number 1.
Green flag.
There it is. Green flag. 2 laps to go. Be a natural green-white checkered finish if they make it back to the white here. Eversole with the lead. Battle for second. Larison and Jones yet again. Remember, Jones didn't take a time in qualifying. He's trying to work his way into this field through the heat races. But final lap, white flag in the air for Robert Eversole. Jones goes through, battling back. We'll see if Larison roughs him up. Larison has a little run on the outside of 4, but it won't be enough as Eversole will come to the stripe. He will win the Consi. And Jones coming home in the second spot. Dylan Larison will come home third. Fourth place was Thomas Hall. Stephen Luttrell fifth. Ben Hollabaugh sixth. Yogi Schlier seventh. And Chris Bingley comes home in the eighth position. FourWide Motorsports Network in the chat says, how's the race going? Just walked in the door. Well, you're just in time for the feature. So let's get down to it. Let's take a look here at our starting grid that, for some reason, still will not cooperate. It only does this for heat races. I don't understand why. We'll give it a minute and we'll check it out. But the race details, of course, we'll look at the weather. 70-degree ambient temperature, still awfully muggy here tonight at 95%. Clear skies, that's a good thing. 9-mile-per-hour breeze, that's down just a bit, so that'll help things out. Track temperature still nice and cool. 72 degrees Fahrenheit should provide optimum grip here tonight. Let's give it a shot one more time, and there it is. Now we've got our starting grid. So on the front row, it'll be the 44 from C2X, Cliff Mullins, flanked by the 21 of John Lacey. Row number 2, Hunter Carlson and Tristan Valdez. Row 3, Ben Campbell and Austin Pack. In the fourth row, it'll be Gavin Grubbs and Charles Oberg. Row 5, Austin Cansdale and Landon Brown. Starting in the 11th position goes to the 70 of Jay Berlin. 12th is Troy Campbell. 13th starter, it's Robert Eversole. He's going to be fast tonight, but he'll have some work to do. Dan Jones will start 14th. Dylan Larison, 15th. 16th starter, it's Thomas Hall. 17th goes to Stephen Luttrell. Ben Hollabaugh will be 18th. Yogi Schlier and Chris Bingley in the final row here, 19th and 20th. It's your starting grid here for the Beach Vibes 80. Race 12, the fourth season of the FourWide Motorsports Late Model Stock Tour, about to get underway here at the beach. And it confirms it, only 80 laps. The schedule did say 200 with a stage break at 100, but I guess they put the kibosh on that, thank goodness. It's been a long weekend. I was not prepared for 200 laps, so I'm kind of happy about that one. It does show Ben Hollabaugh and Yogi Schlier in the pits right now. I don't know if they're starting from pit lane or what the situation there is. So as it stands right now, we'll send 18 cars onto the green flag here in just a moment as they work through turn 4. Barney with the green in hand. And here we go from Myrtle Beach. Green flag is in the air.
Green
We're
flag.
racing. Lap 1 in the books. Cliff Mullins leads it over John Lacey, Tristan Valdez, Hunter Carlson, Austin Pack. That's the top 5. 2 drivers leaving pit lane. They did end up starting from the pits. Ben Hollabaugh and Yogi Schlier, and they're going to be a rolling roadblock here just based on where they join the racetrack. Couple of drivers 3 wide here off turn number 4, trying to go around the 8 and the 12. Hollabaugh still trying to get up to speed, and there's a bit of a stack up behind him. Steve Luttrell having a moment too, did not bring out the caution, but he is off the pace and showing left front damage on his number 36. We'll see if we can catch what happened a moment ago here. It's part of that stack up. Meanwhile, out front, 5 laps in, Mullins leads Lacey, Valdez, Pack, and Campbell. Top 5 or 6 drivers, all single file here. The first battle on the Speedway is Gavin Grubbs and Austin Cansdale. They run side by side. Cansdale with a new paint scheme this week. He's sporting the Track Limits Network logo on the hood. That was impromptu. I didn't know it was coming. I just noticed it myself. So Austin, thanks for supporting us. Certainly do appreciate that. Gansdale gets clear. Gavin Grubbs moves himself up into the 7th position. Meanwhile, Robert Eversole. Oh, we got trouble. Landon Brown is around, or at least partially on the backstretch. First caution of the night here from Myrtle Beach. Try to get you guys a replay here in just a moment. To the inside of Dylan Larison there in the 92. This is down into turn number 1. Brown really dragging the right rear out. Slides up the racetrack. Will go door to door with the 92. Tank swaps it a bit, trying to keep it off of those turtles there in the middle of 1 and 2, but just kind of comes around. All that's lost here is some track position for the 5 of Landon Brown. He will be able to continue the fight. Meanwhile, Luttrell is going to come to pit lane here and address some of the damage. Again, no fast repair in this series. Luttrell shown in the 18th spot. He says started 17th by way of the heats. I don't know if that's actually accurate. Maybe it was. Get some damage repair there, get back out, stay on the lead lap. He's going to have some work to do. Should get the 1-to-go signal this time by, which will give us the restart at lap 11 of the 80 scheduled. Set for the restart. Pace car will make the left turn and the entrance to turn number 3 for the pit road. It'll be Cliff Mullins and John Lacey on the front row. Valdez, Pack in the second row. Then it's Hunter Carlson, Benjamin Campbell in the third row. Austin Cansdale, Gavin Grubbs in row 4.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Mullins gets away down to turn number 1, side by side for second. Lacey and Valdez. Tristan took full advantage on that restart, just a nose out in front, down the back into turn number 3. Late break for the 96, kind of dives it deep into the corner, still not clear. A little bit of door banging there off of turn number 4. Lacey up the racetrack, keeps it out of the wall, and they continue to fight. Down into turn number 1. Valdez clear by an inch, and he'll take the second spot. Austin Pack with drool pouring off his chin. He's looking for that third position. So Valdez setting his sights on the race lead. We've been talking about the 96 the last handful of races, how he's typically a long-run car. And now he's got good track position to start this off. He's up into the second spot. 2 positions gained on the night. We're only 15 laps in. We'll see if that good long-run car shows itself later on. But as it stands right now, he seems fast behind the 44 of Mullins. In fact, half a tenth quicker than the 44 the last time by. Meanwhile, behind them, Austin Pack in a battle with Ben Campbell. Pack on the outside and the Rowdy Energy number 81. Barely trading some paint there off turn number 2. More trading paint between these two. Neither driver willing to give. Battle continuing here for the 4th position. Pack with a nose out in front. Meanwhile, Lacey's starting to get some breathing room behind him as he sets his sights on the top 2. Tristan Valdez still about 2.5 tenths behind the race leader Mullins. 20 laps complete here at Myrtle Beach. On board with Cliff Mullins, looking back at the 96 of Valdez. Valdez dives into the bottom, not quite enough to get alongside, using every single inch of the racetrack and maybe a little more. I think he may have even caught the first inch or two of the grass. And the caution is out. We got a big melee here. I think that's turn 2.
Very difficult official this week, so make sure we're minding our P's and Q's.
Gavin Grubbs trying to get right in here. He's just going to back away from the scene. Thomas Hall lighting it up. He makes more contact with Grubbs, trying to get away. Grubbs backing over those turtle shells. Good news is the accelerator is fixed. The bad news is the transmission's screwed. I'm coming in. If you know, you know. Grubbs now sitting idle just past the entrance to pit road here in the middle of turn 3. A few drivers going to take the opportunity to come pit, maybe get some damage repaired from that. Grubbs just trying to get turned around here. These cars aren't the easiest to get turned at slow speed. They're not the easiest to light up the rear tires, so it's not like you can just dump the clutch and spin it around. Let's take a look at what happened just a moment ago. Starts up ahead here with Austin Pack and Campbell. We'll back this up a little further here and get a little closer. You see Pack right to the back bumper of the 27 of Ben Campbell. That's the silver car. Drives into the back. I don't know if Campbell got on the brakes early or if Pack got on the brakes late. But everybody checking up. Hunter Carlson gets a pretty big shot from behind. Grubbs goes around. Eversole's going to get a piece of this as well. Oberg hard into the wall behind him. Thomas Hall, Landon Brown. Jay Berlin is in this. Troy Campbell, Dan Jones, and Luttrell just kind of sitting there trying to get by. Track was blocked. A melee here at Myrtle Beach. FourWide Motorsports Network says, hit the pace car. All right. At least somebody knew what I was talking about. And we're back green. Mullins and Valdez. John Lacey in the 3rd spot. Austin Pack with that contact maintains his position in the 4th spot. Now Cansdale battling for a spot here with Dylan Larison as they're back to start finish. Still a side-by-side battle with Cansdale and Larison. Either driver again willing to give. Larison using up that top lane here to maintain his momentum on the outside.
Yellow, yellow.
Oh, we got trouble down the backstretch. Robert Eversole is around, and Campbell spins hard into pit lane. Eversole able to drive away. I think he was the original spin. We'll see if we can get a look what happened here to the one just a moment ago. Yeah, Eversole just got on the power a little too soon. Around it went. Carlson sneaks by on the outside. Eversole straightens it back out, but Landon Brown, trying to avoid, gets into the left rear of Ben Campbell, sends Campbell into pit lane. Campbell just kisses the pit wall. I think he'll be okay. So our third caution of the night here, 31 laps complete here from Myrtle Beach. Eversole's going to take the opportunity here to at least bolt right side tires on. Again, we talked to a couple drivers tonight, mentioning how the setup felt a little tight. Tough to get the car to turn, so that right side only change. Some cases, not all, but some cases, it'll free the car up a bit. Then again, he does have some pretty good damage there on the left front. So through that, though, it does appear that Tristan Valdez was able to get the race lead just prior to the caution over John Lacey. Or maybe he didn't actually have the lead at the time. It was Cliff Mullins. Mullins now shown back in the 11th position. We do have a couple of black flags here before we go back green. Ben Campbell and Charles Oberg. I wondered if Campbell got dinged for too fast on entry just from spinning down into the pits. Either way, we're going back green, and Valdez will be the control car over John Lacey. Cliff Mullins made a pit stop during that caution, gave up some track position. We'll see if it helps him. Green flag back in the air. Valdez off turn number 4, back to the stripe. He will lead after the restart. Oh, in trouble. The 8 goes around and landed Brown up in the fence again, I think. Might have kept it off. The caution's out again for the 4th time.
Clear on track right after that caution fell.
Ben Hollabaugh having trouble, showing some left front damage now. We'll see what happened here to the 8 machine just a moment ago. May have had some help here. It's a tough place. It's a fast racetrack. Things happen in a hurry. Doesn't give you a whole lot of time to react once things start to unravel in front of you. Let's take another look at this. I want to see if there was some contact with Luttrell. So Hollabaugh got the wall initially, and he's already starting to come around. And I don't know. I think Luttrell may have avoided him here. He'll wash up the racetrack, get into Thomas Hall just a touch. Watch the roof cam here from Luttrell. Yeah, I think the 8 just kind of came around on his own, and Luttrell was doing the best he could not to make it worse. Working caution number 4. Pace car light still on. Should get the restart right about halfway. I believe it's going to be lap 40 when we take the green again. It'll be Valdez and Lacey for another attempt on a restart here. Austin Pack, Dylan Larison, third and fourth. Now, Larison started 15th. He's worked his way up into the 4th position. Austin Cansdale will restart in P5 with Steve Luttrell to the outside. Dan Jones, Thomas Hall, the row thereafter. Cliff Mullins, Chris Bingley behind them. Mullins again with some fresh tires, at least right sides. So we're ready for the restart here at Myrtle Beach.
Green flag.
Larison and Pack side by side for third. Pack on the bottom in the 81. Behind them, it's Cansdale, Luttrell. Dan Jones, Thomas Hall, Cliff Mullins in 9th. Robert Eversole in the 10th position. Damage and all, he's not giving up. Mullins now to 8th. Oh, trouble into turn number 3. We got cars around. Ben Campbell spinning into pit lane for the 2nd time tonight. What are the odds?
Caution's out. What is this for, Earl? Say again. Caution for.
Flagman a little late on the yellow flag, but nevertheless, we are under our 5th caution of the night. Hunter Carlson showing some pretty significant right front damage. Left front 2 appeared to have come together with Ben Campbell. Both drivers may be coming to pit lane here. Landon Brown probably going to go down too. His right front not looking good. Brown stays out. So does Campbell. So watch Campbell. Gets around the 8 of Hollabaugh. And he's trying to save it too. He gets real loose, clips the right rear, and up the racetrack. Gets Chris Bingley. Oh, big time hit for Hunter Carlson. Didn't even see that. He got the tires at the end of pit wall. Ready for the restart again here at Myrtle Beach. The pace car is going to make that left turn here. There he goes. It'll be Tristan Valdez and John Lacey on the front row. Austin Pack, Dylan Larison, and Austin Cansdale, Dan Jones. That's your top 6. So we're back out of turn number 4, looking for the green flag. There it is. Valdez fires off in a hurry. I don't know about that one. Might have been a little too soon. Fingers crossed he doesn't get dinged from the police on that one. Pack now to 2nd. Watch out for the 81. He's going to be quick here tonight. John Lacey now to third. Cansdale, Larison side by side for the fourth spot. Cansdale gets through no problem, but Cliff Mullins now making his way. He's back to the top 5 with 30 laps to go. Want to make a note here, Scott Shive not in contention here tonight, did not make tonight's race, so he likely to take a hit in the point standings here tonight to Austin Pack, who runs in the second spot, so it could be a big points day for the 81. Those standings coming into tonight: Scott Shive, Austin Pack, Hunter Carlson, Landon Brown, Steve Luttrell. That's the top 5 in the points. Shive was out to a 40-point advantage over Pack. It's going to see a lot of that evaporate here tonight. And Wayne, I got to thank you. I see in your Discord, you've actually got a graphic I can use. So if you're going to do that, I will happily display that in weeks going forward. Oh, we got trouble off turn 4. Thomas Hall goes around.
Throughout the course of that last run, did you see any rubber laying down at all?
Ben Campbell tied up in this again. He's had a rough go of it this evening. I think this is the third caution he's been a participant in, whether it was at fault or otherwise. Doesn't matter. It's still a tough night. Let's see what happened here just a moment ago. Schleer gets into the back of Campbell. I think these are unrelated issues. See the Thomas Hall incident. This was just ahead of them. Little bit of contact maybe with Dylan Larison. Hard to tell from here. Yep, coming up the racetrack. Hall gets into the left door. Kind of a lazy spin. He locks it down, doesn't hit anything. Mr. Woffs in the chat says, how many races is this series? Well, we put the schedule up. We'll do it one more time here. We're at Myrtle Beach tonight. Ignore the lap count. That may have been changed at one point. But we got 3 races left here. New Smyrna next week, then 5 Flags, and then Nashville Fairgrounds to close out the season. But that is your full schedule there. And if memory serves, I believe they're switching to the Truck Series in their next season. That'll be season 5. But Jackson, let me know if you're interested, or even, I mean, you can probably get a hold of Chris, because Chris Golden's involved with this group as well. You guys can work it out. I'm sure they'll take a new driver even with the rest of the season in these late model stocks. Wayne Cannon, your go-to on this. Yeah, Jackson goes, just tuning in, but I love running some late models. You know, they're a fun car. I've talked about this a bunch in the broadcast, but a couple years ago when they updated this car, we did a full road course schedule with just these cars, and we put them against the super lates, kind of like class racing, almost like an IMSA-style series, but it was just late models, supers and late model stocks. Some tracks the supers were faster, others it was the late model stock, but man, it was a blast. Pace car is in. We'll get the restart here. Lap 59 as the laps wind down. 80 the scheduled distance here tonight. It's Valdez and Pack on the front row. Can Austin time it here? Valdez gets a good jump. Crosses over in front of the 81. Green flag back in the air. They roll down into turn number 1. Battle for third. Lacey and Cansdale. Cansdale up top in the black and red number 33. The track limits machine. Still the battle for third, Lacey and Cansdale. Cansdale has the run on the outside, and we got trouble again.
How was your forward drive there towards the end of that little run we just did?
Robert Eversole and Landon Brown tied up in this one. Eversole tows it back to pit lane. Brown's going to try and drive away from the scene, and he'll do so. So caution number 7, uncharacteristic night for the FourWide Motorsports group. Landon Brown coming around here. We'll see what happened here to the 5 just a moment ago. We see Eversole to the left of frame. Looks like he's going to come around on his own. Yeah, he's starting to slide there in front of Steve Luttrell. Luttrell checks up, sees it early enough. The 72 gets into the back. Luttrell able to drive away, and I think Landon Brown just a victim of consequence there. Jackson says, track limits car is dope. It is, and I didn't even know it was going to happen. So it's a nice little surprise to see Cansdale running that scheme tonight. We do have some sponsors to thank, so stand by.
Where virtual racing meets real-world style. Gear up with 213 Simware's sim racing apparel. Perfect for representing your favorite league, team, or driver. Contact them at 213simware@gmail.com for inquiries. 213 Simware is the official apparel company for the FourWide Motorsports League. Angry Chef Designs is a premier iRacing paint shop owned and operated by Hunter Carlson, specializing in high-quality custom racing liveries. As the proud sponsor of the FourWide Motorsports Racing League, Angry Chef Designs brings creativity, precision, and passion to every design. From bold, aggressive styles to clean, professional schemes, each paint is crafted to help drivers stand out on track. With a commitment to detail and customer satisfaction, Angry Chef Designs delivers top-tier visuals that match the competitive spirit of sim racing.
Base car lights are out. Get the restart at lap 65. So 16 to go, and they get back to the stripe. Valdez going to have to hold off Austin Pack, that is. Cansdale there in the second row with John Lacey. Green back in the air. Valdez jumps out to about 3/10 over Austin Pack. You got to wonder how much Austin Pack's going to push the issue here. I know he's hungry for that race win, knowing that Scott Shive's not here tonight, but second place would still be a big jump in the points category. It's the season winding down. Don't count out Cliff Mullins. He just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 19:23 out of the 44. That's right in the qualifying lap time category. But does he have enough time? He's got 3 more cars ahead of him if he wants to win this race here tonight. Cliff Mullins does it again, now in 19:22 for the fastest lap of the night. Ben Campbell, throughout his struggles tonight, still in the top 10. Mullins matching that fast lap, another 19:22. He's just a tick faster than the top 3 drivers ahead of him, but we're talking half a tenth. With 10 laps to go next time by, it's going to be a tall order. Valdez just logging laps, kind of running a slightly defensive line to Austin Pack. Pack running second. Now Cansdale in a battle with Dan Jones for the 5th spot. 9 laps to go. Oh, Cansdale a little wide on the exit. Pancakes the right side, but he keeps his foot in it. Does not want to give Dan Jones that spot. Now a slow car in the bottom. That's Chris Bingley coming back out on the speedway. Trying to pick up a couple of spots here, or at least one, as Eversole is out of the race. 7 laps to go. Tristan Valdez now leads by now 0.4 of a second over Austin Pack. So maybe Pack just settling in here, saying, all right, I'm going to protect P2 here. John Lacey would like to change that strategy a little bit as he runs third in that number 21. Cliff Mullins now to 4th. That pace falling off a slight bit for the 44. Ran a 19:40. All the drivers ahead of him slightly under that time by maybe 300ths or less. Mullins started tonight's race on the front row. Now, if you're Tristan Valdez, you just want these next 4 laps to stay green. You don't want to have to try and survive another restart with 81 of Austin Pack to the outside. It'll be 3 to go the next time by for the 96 of Tristan Valdez. Meanwhile, Austin Cansdale and Jones still fighting it out for that 5th position. I think Jones is just a touch faster right now. Behind them, though, Dylan Larison and Ben Campbell. These guys have been around each other quite a bit here tonight. Just makes you wonder what would have been here for the 27 of Campbell. Again, he's been around backwards, I would say, at least 3 times here tonight. The story could have been much different if that weren't the case. Meanwhile, less than 2 to go for the race leader, Tristan Valdez. Down the backstretch, a lap and a half remains for the 96. They'll be looking for the white flag this time by. Off turn number 4, there it is. Final lap here from Myrtle Beach. Only a mistake would take it away now for Tristan Valdez as Austin Pack is back there by 0.3 plus into 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming back to the main straightaway, checkered flag waves. Tristan Valdez wins it at the beach. Austin Pack will come home 2nd, John Lacey 3rd. 4th belongs to Cliff Mullins. Dan Jones will come home with a top 5. Won't pass Tech now. Well, that'll do it for Tristan Valdez. A short-lived celebration for the 96 as he picks up the win here tonight in the Beach Vibes 80. FourWide Motorsports late model stock tour season winding down. We're going to step away here, get a break out of the way, and we'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Myrtle Beach Speedway, the FourWide Motorsports Late Model Stock Tour Beach Vibes 80 in the books. Tristan Valdez picking up the win here from the 4th position here tonight. Let's see if we can get a word with the driver of the number 96 and see what our winner has to say. Tristan, it's Steve with Track Limits Network. You got a copy?
I got you, Steve.
Tristan, congratulations, man. Picking up the victory here tonight. We knew it was only a matter of time. We've talked a bunch here in the past, last handful of races at least, about you having a long-run car. Well, tonight you put it in the second row, started 4th and showed pace kind of right out of the gate, but it just never went away. Was there anything different you've done with your driving style as of late to kind of make the car fast right off the bat?
Well, I was kind of concentrating real hard on trying to do good in qualifying, and I think I was overdoing it a little bit. It would bury me back in the pack. You know, when you got the speed, it's just kind of hard to pass. So tonight I was like, I'm just going to, take it easy. What happens, happens. We ended up starting 4th and got to 2nd there quick, and then we was running with them. If we could have got a green flag run, I feel like it would have been a good race between me and the leader there, but he ended up hitting for tires or something, and my car just never really fell off. I mean, wasn't really going all the way, wasn't really backing off a little bit, but that last run there, that last 15-lap green flag run, I was running pretty hard, and the car kept doing good. We kept pulling them, so I made it a little easier on myself tonight, and it showed. We're fast. We got it.
Certainly an impressive run here tonight. You looked stout right off the bat and continued that pace throughout the evening, picking up the race win here tonight. We now focus our attention to next week and to another beach, not Myrtle Beach, but New Smyrna Beach. What changes with your approach there?
Just going to do the same thing. Just try to be smooth and just be there at the end. You can't win a race from starting in the back, but last week we had it real hard. Started 14th, ended up 4th, so I started 4th and won this week. So we're going to try to do something like that next week.
Momentum swinging in your direction potentially. Tristan, congratulations on the win here tonight, man. Who do you want to thank?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just want to thank my family and my wife watching the kids while I come do this fun stuff. And all glory to God, man, for giving me the ability to do this.
All right, Tristan, thanks for talking to us. Congrats again, man. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Tristan Valdez, your race winner here tonight at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the driver, the number 81, Austin Pack. Started 6th, worked his way up into a P2 finish. I just got to wonder, and we're probably going to ask him here, what exactly the mindset was there about running second, maybe not pushing the issue too much, but let's see if we got him here. Austin, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Austin, congratulations. 6th place starting position, P2 tonight on a race that you had a lot of points on the table with Scott Shive not being here tonight. You picked up those points. Was there any thought in your mind about that later into this race to really pushing the issue to try to take that win from Valdez, or was second okay tonight?
I mean, you always want to win. My car, with Tristan, we're talking about it. I was too tight in 1 and 2, but could get him in 3 and 4, and I just ran out of time, and so we'll settle for second and take a good point tonight after a rough past couple weeks.
Certainly an impressive run here tonight. That's what we've come to expect out of you in that number 81 machine. We set up now going a little further south. New Smyrna Beach is on tap for the next race. What changes, if anything, in your approach in New Smyrna?
Nothing, just smooth and be there at the end. That's when it matters. Can't win it on lap 1. Just make sure we're there at the end and make sure we have another fast car.
That's all you can do. Austin, congratulations again. P2 here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to?
Just thank my wife and my daughter for letting me, have to take the time to do this. Thank Wayne and Hunter and all you guys in the booth for broadcasting, doing it. I know it takes a lot of time and effort.
All right, Austin. Well, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Steve.
Austin Pack, your second-place finisher here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. I don't think we've got John Lacey available for comment, but a strong night for the 21. Started outside front row, takes it home to a third-place finish here this evening. Real curious to see what there's more in store here for that number 21 machine rolling into the balance of this season. And a fast race car, certainly, just a couple short, but a solid run tonight here for the number 21 machine. That'll do it for our interview portion of tonight's show. Let's see what we have as far as our race results are concerned. Of course, we talked to Tristan Valdez, Austin Pack, our top two finishers. John Lacey was third. Cliff Mullins comes home in the fourth spot. Dan Jones was fifth. Austin Cansdale comes home in P6 with the Track Limits Network on the hood. I think I said Dan Jones was fifth. Just making sure that I didn't miss him. Don't want to leave anybody out here. Ben Campbell, a seventh place may not look like the greatest finish in the world, but after the night that the 27 had, great job by Ben Campbell to stick with it, get back facing the right direction, and just nose to the grindstone to come home with a solid top 10. So nice job, Ben Campbell. Dylan Larison finishes in the 8th spot. 9th went to Jay Berlin. Troy Campbell was 10th. Landon Brown, a tough night for the 5. He'll finish 11th. Thomas Hall was 12th. Yogi Schlier started pretty deep in the field, but finishes out here in the 13th spot. Stephen Luttrell, not the night he was looking for. 14th, the last car on the lead lap. Gavin Grubbs was 15th. Benjamin Hollabaugh finishes 16th. Charles Oberg, 17th. Robert Eversole, 18th. Chris Bingley was 19th, and a very difficult evening for the 32 of Hunter Carlson. He'll take 20th place points here at Myrtle Beach. Your race results here for the Beach Vibes 80 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. FourWide Motorsports Late Model Stock Tour. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. One comment from 2 Extreme 372. I think that's Cliff Mullins. He says, yep, threw away a chance at it. He made the right call. I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to, but either way, a 4th place finish for Cliff Mullins. I think he went right side tires there just before the mid portion of the race. I don't know if it helped or hurt, but either way, a top 5 for the 44. But thank you guys all for tuning in. Thanks for the busy stream chat tonight. We had, of course, Chris Golden, David Warmuth with his cooler full of beer. Let's see, who else we had? Mr. Wasp, I think that's Jackson West, and 2 Extreme 372. I think that's Cliff Mullins, but I'm not 100%. Either way, thanks for the interaction here tonight, guys. Really do appreciate that. Keep that up. Let the families know. Get them watching on the iPad, the iPhone, the TV, however you guys take in these races. We certainly do appreciate it. Got more racing coming up tomorrow. All-Star Race, the 0X Strategy Series, and then the Golden Racing League back live here on Wednesday night here at Track Limits Network. We're back in action for another week of racing. Thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all have a good night.